travelers? It's Eliz
And Derek.
from Means to Travel, and we are standing in the Highlands of Scotland right now, right on the beach overlooking Castle Stalker behind us. And with this beautiful view, we thought we would spend a little bit of time talking to you guys about 5 things that we recommend bringing with you if you are taking a trip to Scotland. So let's jump right in.
Number 1, definitely pack layers on your trip. That means a nice base layer, some like maybe a hoodie, things like that to keep you warm, and definitely an outer layer to keep the wind at bay. Because a lot of times, not today, it's actually really beautiful out today, but a lot of times it can be windy here. So you want to make sure that you're comfortable during your trip. Also, the temperature can fluctuate quite a bit depending on if you're in the shade or in the sun. So right now it's pretty warm out. You want to unzip, you want to breathe, you might even take off your sweatshirt. But if the clouds roll in, it can get quite chilly quite fast. So you definitely want to make sure that you're covered in all weather.
And just to add to that, if you're coming during the shoulder season, which we're here right now in November or winter time, you might want to consider packing some long underwear as well. And the second thing to bring, absolutely without question, on a trip to Scotland is rainy weather gear. It is absolutely going to rain while you're here. And
not today, but the next like 7 days is going to be raining. So.
Yeah. So no matter what, you are more likely than not to experience rain at least once, probably at least once a day while you're here. And so you want to bring that water-resistant, waterproof stuff. So this jacket right here is waterproof, and whenever it does start raining, I pop my hood over. If it's really bad, I've brought my umbrella as well, so that way I can protect my clothing from getting wet and also protect my backpack, my day pack.
Yep, and that leads nicely into number 3, which is waterproof shoes. Now, that's great if it's raining out, but even if it's not raining, you definitely want to make sure you have appropriate footwear. Now, for us, if you watched our videos from our quarantine video, you saw that we bought Merrell shoes that are great for walking on trails, but they're also waterproof. And what's important about this is that a lot of times in these towns in Scotland and other places, you have tides. And when the tide runs out, you might want to go for a walk out on the pebbly beach and get quite wet on your shoes.
Or you might be going for a hike and you just have to wade a little bit through a creek or something in order to get to the other part of the trail.
Yep, so that's why we always think that bringing waterproof shoes is extremely important when you're coming over to this part of the world.
And the 4th thing to definitely bring, regardless of whether you're going to the cities or to the Scottish Highlands, is mapping technology. So what we typically do is download the Scotland maps on maps.me, which is an app for our cell phones, before we leave for our trip. And then we are able to navigate while still having our cell phones on airplane mode. Another thing to think about is the fact that there might be a lot less connectivity from actual cell phone service when you are in these remote areas, especially in the Highlands, and you might not be able to have access to Google Maps. So having that pre-downloaded map is definitely a really important thing to prepare for your trip. On top of that, you might, as an extra backup, might want to bring a paper map as well.
Now, I will say that we tend to use Google Maps largely when we are traveling and driving around in the Highlands or in England, wherever we happen to be. But there have been multiple occasions where we have had no service, even at a restaurant. And so it was very, very helpful to have maps.me to kind of get us out of that situation and on to our next place. Because at the end of the day, your GPS function in your phone should function. Okay, so that brings us to the 5th thing, which is an open mind and adventurous spirit. And that is especially true when trying the local cuisine. Whether black pudding or haggis, give it a try. And who knows, maybe you'll surprise yourself and you'll like it. The other thing though is that if you want to try driving in Scotland, I highly recommend it. I think that some of our greatest experiences have been from driving the Highlands and just stopping off at a random place and seeing the view. And that is something that I think makes a trip to Scotland that much more special.
And I've done it both ways, in the Highlands especially. I've done the coach bus tour and the driving through the entire Highlands ourselves trip. And definitely the one where you get to choose your own adventure is a really, really special trip to have. And those are the 5 things that we recommend to bring on a trip to Scotland. If you have any other questions about your upcoming trip, definitely feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. And if you've already been to Scotland or you live here and want to include some other special tips that you have, definitely feel free to leave a comment below too. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, definitely press that red subscribe button as well, so that way you don't miss any of our future travel videos to come. Thanks everybody for watching. Cheers. Happy travels. Bye.
Hey travelers, don't forget to subscribe and let's hang out more. Here are some links to other helpful travel videos on my channel, and press that notification bell so you don't miss any new and awesome travel videos to come.